Hello there everybody, welcome back to another MapleStory video. It's the call me the microwave, where we take a look at the subreddit over the last week, see what's been happening. As always, disclaimer, you want to see different content, interface with the community, and upvote, downvote, post stuff, all that good shit. Gives you some, some incentive to interact with the community maybe a little bit more. Anyways, we got a couple different things. The main thing is this spreadsheet. I really like the spreadsheet. I think it's very, very cool. There's an April Fool's post. We'll go over that just because it's a little fun. We'll open this. What else do we got? We'll do the Kanna thread because there was some Kanna drama as well. We'll start it off with the April Fool's post. This is the April Fool's post posted by one of the mods on the subreddit. Paraphrasing, it's just a good old copy and paste. Looks like it's probably written by GPT because of the double M dash. But, I mean, little funny post. It's fine. April Fool's Day goes hard. Me when anything happens ever. But basically, low-key, this shit goes hard. I save messages for months just to wait for 5, 10, 15, and what happens? Boom, all gone. ChatGPT knows, man. Oh my lord. Emojified this shit. Blaster. Who needs April Fool's Day when your whole life is a joke? Honestly, been saying this since the day I was born. This is the real content, though. This is the Ride or Die, or GMS post Ride or Die milestone. 88k converted results, not April Fool's, because they posted this on April Fool's as well. But basically, I'll open the spreadsheet and we'll go over this. As some of you might know, I, along with over 50 other players in the in-game heroic community, have spent the past 6 weeks putting together our own GMS heroic class data. This was inspired by Maple Scouter's 88k hexa converted KMS data collection, but with a focus on GMS-specific conditions and relevant metrics. I felt a GMS-specific data collection was needed for the following reasons. KMS version had unrealistic rotations and Ozring restrictions for some classes, not reflective of real bossing in GMS, even if they were reflective of KMS. It only captured full rotation data, which, while this is an important metric, it doesn't fully reflect the reality of the current Lin meta, which unfortunately seems here to stay. Every other MapleStory region with Lin has received Lin balance changes, except GMS. Inkwell, please. GMS has very different class balance from KMS due to things like attack speed 10 and higher average ping, which affects class performance in a way that using KMS data as a base cannot accurately model. The submission rules for the data were as follows. Level 1, 380 defense, large boss dummy with reduction, mimicking +5 level advantage on boss. 2 origin rotation, battle analysis submission, no special nodes, no fatal or lethal, as GMS server extensions are too high variance. Archers are slightly more deflated versus non-archers as a result. No level 5 Ozrings. RT4 only allowed by classes with burst iframe. Dummy touch damage cancels RT4, RT being risk taker. Real bossing rotation 6 origins and 11 out of 16 bursts in a real boss, including 3x Will Saren AB off cooldown as applicable. No special soul skills such as Efernia or Mugong souls. Hexa converted was calculated using the highest possible converted out of either Cont 4, Roar 4 / Weapon Jump 4, or Roar 4 / Totaling 4 Ozrings on Maple Scouter to prevent mathematical inflation in cases where Ozring combo gave a lower converted but results in higher battle analysis. Can't thank the BA submitters and advisors enough, whether it was class rotations, yada yada yada. You all helped make this possible. Shoutouts to all the people who submitted their data and helped make the spreadsheet a possibility here. My plan is to run this data collection back after Mastery 3 and 4, Buff Sequencer, and any potential class balance changes we may get in either April or May of KMST ahead of the Summer KMS Showcase. Current spreadsheet has projections for what data could look like, but again, because it is based on KMS info, it is only directionally correct at best. In the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, comment on this post or DM at Drogon on Discord. But with all that word salad being said, let's take a look at the actual data. So, What are we looking at here? Well, the first thing over here is full rotation, bis Ozering for 3-man party settings. This is just a full rotation, like, basically what you would see if you looked at the KMS sheet, right? Second, you have a full rotation with Lin Awaken support. So this is a full rotation with Lin, right? So it's the full rotation, but you have Lin's Awaken. Then you have 30-second burst data, origin and non-origin here. This is origin, this is non-origin. And then over here, the last one is an 88k full rotation post Mastery 3 and Mastery 4 estimation. Again, this won't be fully accurate because, again, it just estimates the data from KMS and adds it onto the GMS adjusted full rotation. Not exactly perfect, but it is something to note. Couple things that surprised me straight out of the gate was how high Luminous is. For no reason other than just when I played the game, Luminous was not very good at bossing. Back in 2016, Luminous was an ass bosser. It's crazy to me to see Luminous right below Nightwalker, like, goddamn. It's also surprising just how high Bishop really is. You always know Bishop is quite high, but you never really, at least for me, you never really understand it, especially when it breaks it down like this. So the Bishop that it's counting is 2-minute 3-man party, but it also shows 2-man solo, 3-man 3-man party, 3-man 6-man party, 2-man 6-man party, which is cool. I think this is cool. And even at its like absolute worst, Bishop is still better than a lot of classes, which is crazy. I just think that data like this is very cool, and it shows better sort of the relative balancing, I guess, in terms of like what classes can do and can't do. Like, you're never going to see a Wild Hunter come anywhere close to any of these top classes, but I think the variance between number 1 and number 46 is quite large. I mean, guys below 400T, that's pretty sad. Kali is another one that's interesting, because Kali is quite strong, but this is ping dependent, and the data that they got was from an Australian Kali, so Kali, obviously, likely much higher. I just like looking at information like this because I think it's very cool. Again, you can't obviously look at this and be like, well, this is just, you know, Demon Avenger's the best, then Xenon, then Kadena, then Zero, then Marksman, then Demon Slayer. Like, you can't just do that. And I think a lot of people take, like, spreadsheets and data lists like this or charts to be like, oh, well, this is how it is always, and there is no variance whatsoever, which is just not true, right? Because these are, like, their classes played under, like, optimal settings and how, you know, just how it is, right? But in an actual boss, things aren't going to just stand there and let you hit them for 6 minutes or whatever, right? And I think the coolest thing for me is to... I like the 30-second burst data. I think this is the coolest thing for me. Because you get to see just how good certain classes are at bursting. Things like Mercedes, non-origin burst, Mercedes number 4, 107, 30 seconds. That's fucking crazy. Nightlord number 2, 117, 30 seconds. Xenon just goes fucking nutty, man. And then with origin burst, you see fucking Kadena. That's obviously Xenon's still far up there. Kane makes a fucking appearance. Big man Kane. Kali goes pretty fucking crazy. Nightwalker makes an appearance. I mean, Nightwalker makes an appearance here as well. But it's cool to me to see what certain classes are designed to excel at, right? Because Nightlord's 30-second burst is top 6 on Origin, number 2 on fucking non-Origin. You look at the full rotation, I mean, they're number 31, right? Does that necessarily mean they're a bad class? Well, I mean, that's up for debate, right? Their DPM certainly suffers, but if it's like a boss that you can't necessarily DPM all the time, maybe it matters less, right? Because if you look at how front-loaded or their burst is, I mean, it gives you different perspective on different classes, right? And it's just interesting to see. And then the last one, obviously, is the M3, M4 projected. I think the craziest projection here is Blaster gaining 33%. Blaster was already insanely good, but it's slated to get 33% gain from Mastery 3-4. That's fucking nuts, dude. That's crazy. Obviously, again, this data isn't exactly how it's going to be, but using the KMS data, this is what it would extrapolate to be. And if you haven't seen the spreadsheet somehow, I will link it in the description if I remember. I should remember to. But I think shit like this is really cool, and it's a really interesting tool. Yeah, I don't know. I just like numbers, man. And I think numbers and data is cool. This is the Xenon and DA setup for the Scouter. The raw data. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went into this, very clearly. And, I mean, it is certainly better that we have this to look at and reference than to not have it. And that is what I'm saying, brother. Best class versus worst class damage over 53% FD difference is fucking insane. Yeah, I mean, the top and the very top and the very bottom difference is way too big. I've been said that. Kind of wild that supports are still so high up on charts for solo damage. Yeah, that's crazy. I've also been saying this since the dawn of time. Don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily think this means, oh, nerf supports damage. I think we just shouldn't have classes below supports damage. Call me controversial. You know what I mean? Let the bishops hit for however hard they're hitting, but everything below bishop, make that shit go above bishop. I've seen enough nerf Kanna. I'm a Night Lord, and he shows a 3-line Prime ET Strength Edition. My man is a Strength Night Lord now. Shit like this is my fucking worst nightmare. Especially rolling stuff on, like, mules, man. And then finally, the last post of the day that we're gonna take a little snap and look at. So there was another Kanna bug on one of the days this week. I cannot remember which day it was. I think it might have been April 2nd or April 3rd, something like that. Where if you logged into your Kanna, you would just get banned. The classic, you log in Kanna, you get banned bug. It seems to appear every now and then just to keep people on their toes in case anyone was still playing Kanna. And then I think that sort of made people angry again, and you have this post, which lists out a bunch of bugs, poor design choices for Kanna specifically. I'm not going to read over every single one of these, but this is a lot of stuff. Then you have the section on balance neglect, easily the lowest damage class in the entire game. Well, Kanna is, not, yeah, I mean, Kanna's not good. And then, the last section is action communication, nothing being done to Kanna. Last time Kanna got any significant bug changes was on July 16, 2024. I mean, I have no idea how true any of this shit is, but I believe it. Truthfully, I do. It's a sad state. And I've seen a lot of people say, like, they wouldn't be surprised if, like, Hayato and Kanna, you know, got the old jet treatment at some point. I don't know if that would happen. I don't think so. But I hope for the players that play Hayato and Kanna, they start doing something to these classes rather than just waiting for, like, JMS to do something to these classes, for example. It's clear shit needs to be done to make these functional. Next on here, best we can do is a 7-day ban. Yeah, this is like what Kannas get, and that's not what Kannas deserve, man. Be careful what you wish for. The missing support balance patch for Kannas in the other overseas region completely removed domains FD. They're no longer a support class, period. I think the problem is that it's a JMS class and JMS is not going west. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. I think it's clear that like the JMS classes, Kana and Hayato, need their own touches from our development team. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Hexa Vanquish Charm deals less damage than non-Hexa until level 7. That's crazy. We're missing 40% of the hits. Oh man, that would be funny if it wasn't so sad. I mean, it still is funny, but it's not funny for the people who play Kana. Anyways, let me know what you guys think as always. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like the video if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you to my YouTube members. It's Inner Diz, Remix My Life. I'm Nufu. I love all of you guys very, very much, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye!